Getting healthy with chiropractic, the powerful connection between your spine and your health. Hi, I'm Dr. George Burroughs, and I'd like to ask you to do me a favor. Open and close your hand, making a fist with your fingers. Now, let me ask you a question. How did your hand know what to do? That is, how did your brain get your fingers to open and close? Well, in order for your fingers to move into a fist, a message has to begin in the brain and then travel to the hand. And the way that does that is kind of neat. A message starts in the brain and will then travel down the spinal cord. And as you see here, here's the brain, and the message starts in the brain and then travels down the spinal cord, which is really just a continuation of the brain. And then that message is going to exit out along a nerve that would take the message to the hand, telling it what to do. Well, this exact same mechanism would work if I asked you to move your foot, except this time the brain, once it sends the message down the spinal cord, that message is going to travel all the way down the spinal cord because the nerve it needs to travel along is found in the low back. And that message is going to travel along the nerve from the low back to the foot, telling it what to do. Now, the neat thing is it's not just muscles, but organs like your lungs, your heart, and even your digestive system and hormone system that work this way. That is, the brain's function is to send instructions or directions or messages to every part of the body, muscles and organs, and it does so by sending these messages from the brain down the spinal cord and out along nerves. Now, here's a chart we have available for free in our office that shows you all the nerves in the spine and where they go to. That is, it shows you the spine, and then it shows you how the nerves travel off the spinal cord and go to every organ and muscle in the body. And this chart shows you specifically where in the spine those nerves are and what parts of the body they instruct. Which leads me to chiropractic. The real goal of chiropractic is not just to help with back pain, but to make sure that the messages travel from the brain, reach where they need to go. Now, the brain, of course, is protected by the bones of the skull, and the spinal cord is protected by the bones of the spine, the vertebrae bones. Now, here's a picture of the spine, and I want you to think of the spine as a bunch of vertebrae bones stacked on top of one another, much like donuts would be stacked on one on top of another, with an opening in the middle for the spinal cord to travel through. All right, so here's a picture of the spine. And again, I want to emphasize that the brain is protected, the spinal cord is protected by the skull and the spine, but the nerves that carry the messages from the spinal cord to the different parts of the body are not protected. Which leads me to a question. What would happen if one of the vertebrae bones was out of alignment? Well, the answer, of course, is if a vertebrae bone is out of alignment, it could interfere with the message traveling along the nerves. And that wouldn't just result in pain necessarily, but it would impact or affect the message at that level. That is, if a vertebrae is out of alignment, it could put pressure or interference on that nerve, and whatever message is traveling along that nerve, like we looked at this chart before, would be affected. So if a vertebrae bone is out of alignment, the message along the corresponding nerve would be affected. So let me say it this way. Here's a picture of the spine, and the top of the spine, the neck, the vertebrae in the neck. Is it possible for a vertebrae in the neck to be out of alignment and that be the cause of, let's say, headaches? And the answer is yes. Well, likewise, in the middle of the back, the nerves there tend to go to the organs of the body. If one of these vertebrae out of alignment, you could be having stomach problems. And the same with the low back. If you're out of alignment in your low back, you could be having problems not just with your legs, but with the reproductive system. And again, it comes back to this chart, which again, we'd gladly give you a copy of this. It's very interesting how the body works, how we were created. Well, now really that leads me to the final point here. The goal of chiropractic is not to fix anything or to heal anybody. Only God can heal you, but we can get rid of interferences that would affect the nerves and the messages traveling through those nerves. I hope you liked this video, and please, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Thank you.